It's Transforce96 here with another review. This time we have the Marvel Legends from the newest Spider-Man wave with the Space Knight Venom Build-A-Figure. We have Electro. So Electro, when I first saw that they were doing an Electro figure, was when they released, there was a leaked picture of the back of the packages of these figures, and it was kind of cut off from here. It was a very small kind of leaked image of this. I was super excited. They were doing a nice comic Electro. Very happy. I thought that the blue lightning was weird, but it wasn't a huge deal. So I was extremely happy about that. And then, of course, when we got the full reveal of this figure, it did turn out that they were doing a modern version of Electro's costume, but came with an interchangeable classic Electro head. So overall, I was really excited for a while to get classic Electro. Unfortunately, this is a more updated version of his costume, which is quite similar to his original costume, but definitely has some key differences, and overall was disappointing to me. However, I'm still happy to get a representation of Electro. So let's go over him. So first of all, these are not the hands that he comes with. He comes with these hands, which I will put on him, but those are repaints of the movie Electro figure. But these hands actually work really nicely. They're just the single fist. If you don't want him shooting electricity, you can use these from Speed Demon, and these are extra sets of hands that come with Speed Demon, so it's not like you have to have your Speed Demon come without hands. You can still have him have his hands and let Electro borrow his other set, which is quite nice. I'm very happy about that. The coloring doesn't match perfectly. Speed Demon is a dark blue, while Electro is a black. However, it does work pretty nicely, and as you can see, even with the big lights on, it's not a big difference. And so in person, it's even less of a difference, so which I do like quite a bit. The head sculpt I really do like a lot. I love the smirk there. I think it's really nice, and it's a good contrast to his other head sculpt that he comes with. The way that his eyes are done, where he's got the black on the inside of his eyes, and then it's kind of like a metallic blue for his pupils. I think that looks excellent. Really cool. Really do like that a lot. It's focusing on the box too much. So I do like that a lot. I think that he does have a really nice head sculpt there. And you do have some good sculpted wrinkles around his eyebrows, which is really nice. The way that the electric blasts on his mask are sculpted is quite good. On here you do have this electric blast kind of swoops up, while this one is very straight. So it is, kind of annoying that they're not the same. I kind of like the swooped up look, though. I have to say, like, that looks kind of neat. I do like the way that they're kind of swooped up like that. The front sections kind of bow out, and they were like that in package, and I believe that that's just so that you can have him look down, and because this is soft plastic, kind of just gets out of the way. So when you look at it straight on, you don't notice it, but from the sides, it does look a little odd that the costume's kind of bowed out there. And then the top section is pretty perfect. It's very aligned, and both sides look very even and everything, so very nice. The body is, as you can see, done in his more, I believe it's the Ultimate style costuming for him, which is similar at the top, where he does have the green color scheme and the yellow, or in this case, somewhat metallic yellow lightning bolt design up there. And then he does have black gloves, with just black pants and then gold boots. Obviously, the classic Electro comes with the green as his full bodysuit, and then he has like this yellow design on him. But then he has the yellow boots on and yellow gloves on, which have little electric bolts that actually sculpt that go out, which I like that look a lot better. I would have much preferred this to be a classic Electro like that. I think that would have looked a lot better. However, it is hard for me to complain. It kind of sucks that they gave him the classic head, because it's like they're like, oh, you see, it's pretty close, but we didn't actually get you a classic Electro. So, and because they gave you this head, that there's just no chance in the future that they'll do a classic one, at least in the upcoming years, which is definitely such a shame, because I would have loved that. Here he is with his more Ultimate Electro head, and I'll replace one of the hands there. And obviously, the other Electro figure, the classic Electro, shoots yellow electricity, while this modern one does shoot blue electricity, which is another thing that I don't like. But overall, this head sculpt is actually looking really nice. I do like it a lot. He's got a lot of expression there, a lot of anger, and his little mask that's kind of been like sculpted on him, or at least it's been like painted on him, is actually sculpted there too, which is really cool. So I do like this head sculpt. It's just for Electro. I like the comic one just a ton more. However, I do think that this is a good head sculpt. Don't get me wrong. His electric blasts, like I said, are just reused from the comic or sorry, from the movie Electro figure that came out for Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, and it's also being reused for Eel, so they're getting, you know, some decent use out of those hands. The body that he's on is quite nice. He's on a Spider-Man body, you know, one of the slimmer types, which is quite good. Obviously, Electro is pretty slim in the comics, as well as I like this body because it has the butterfly joint. So let's go over the articulation. He's got a ball-jointed head on a hinge, which does look really nice. He can look up very far and he can look down very far. Like I said, you've got that wonderful butterfly joint there at the shoulders. Love that ball hinge shoulder as well. A bicep swivel, double hinge elbows, and then he has hinge swivel wrists. He's got an ab crunch, which goes back pretty decent, and it can go forward very far. And then you have a swivel at the waist, ball jointed hips. Again, because this is on the Spider-Man mold, the ball joints work really nicely as far as they go out extremely far, and they go out a decent amount. Swivel thighs, double hinge knees, and hinge pivoting ankles. The ankle pivot works great as well. So overall, I like the mold that he's on just because it's such a well-articulated mold, and it does fit for the character as well, too. So the mold is perfect. My only complaints about it are personal things. It's just that I'm not a big fan of the Ultimate Electro. I much prefer the comic Electro, and they gave you something very close to the comic Electro, and they even gave you the head sculpt there just to tease you, basically, you know. It's kind of upsetting because it's like I'm so close to having a comic Electro figure, but I don't, you know. I'm close to it, but it's not a comic Electro, which is definitely just a shame. But overall, it's actually a pretty decent figure. I think that he should have definitely came with interchangeable hands that were just plain, like he has here, like the ones that I've given him. However, since he doesn't, you can use the Speed Demon hands. They're a perfect fit for him as well, too, so you don't have to worry about them being loose or anything like that. Overall, it's a great figure. Just costume-wise, personally, I've seen a lot of people say this as well. They'd prefer a comic Electro over this Ultimate Electro, but the figure itself is nice, and, you know, I am happy that they gave us a comic head, even though it does feel like they're just kind of mocking me, basically. But I'm still happy that we do have it. So overall, decent figure, not a fantastic costume there. That's my review of the Spider-Man from the Marvel Legends Space Knight Venom wave of Electro. Thanks so much for watching.